Well, one, China is a trading nation. Trade is in China's DNA. And so, building export capacity, building the capacity to get imports into China has been a number one strategic issue ever since the reform and opening up of the 1990s. And so, what the Chinese government has done is, they had this go out strategy under President Jiang Zemin that provided massive state subsidies for state-owned firms, shippers and shipping fleets to go out and capture new markets, especially in the developing world. And so it became profitable for Chinese state-owned firms to strike deals with African countries. And that's the reason why, they are racing very quickly to be in a very dominant position when it comes to Africa's export infrastructure.
But Paul, the question most Africans would be asking is, what are they getting out of this?
Well, number one, they're getting efficiency, right? Because after privatization, efficiency has become a major buzzword in Africa as far as export infrastructure is concerned. So that's the first thing they're getting. The second thing they're getting is finance. Because you see, the Chinese involvement in the African port space is in terms of building, it's in terms of renovating, it's in terms of finance, that is loan finance, and it's also in terms of operations. So it's the entire port development chain. So African countries are able to obtain finance. Then they're also able to increase their export volumes into China. So, for instance, last year, one of the major shippers, which is actually the largest shipper in the world today, COSCO, which is Chinese state-owned, reduced the travel time of goods and services from East and Southern Africa into China to 20 days, right? And that obviously stimulates a lot of economic development for the African continent.
Well, Paul, some people would be a little bit concerned here from the continent, asking what are these naval activities really? What are they here for? Do you think there could be an element of some sort of spying on these ports or these countries that they are, spread around?
Well, our study found, and this, by the way, is the second study. We did another one in 2022 that was basically looking at China's naval presence on the continent. What our study finds is that some, not all, but some of these maritime hubs that Chinese firms are involved with on the African continent do have design specifications that allow them, number one, to dock Chinese naval assets for military exercises and things of that nature. But then some of them also are able to berth major Chinese combatants. And so what the data is saying is that when it comes to the indicators for the potential viability of some of these ports for Chinese naval use, one of the most important indicators is the design features. So if a port is designed to be able to berth major Chinese combatants, that obviously becomes one of the data points that Chinese shippers and Chinese naval planners look at. So yes, some, not all, but some of these African ports do meet some of those specifications.